set it off, and that's what created your vibrations. The next thing was hydraulics. Hydraulics were better, but now this is the same type of technology where you're taking old school hydraulics and you're putting in an electromotive force to generate those vibrations, so you can be more efficient, the unit can be smaller, you have a higher frequency spectrum that helps you differentiate underground structures, and also lends itself towards using new techniques to do the same thing by having complex waveforms induced in the ground. Where do we do it? Well, Traverse City is the base for LMT systems, but like I mentioned, I have partners in the Netherlands. So we're doing product development and sales out of Traverse City. In the Netherlands, we're doing R&D, basic R&D, engineering, assembly, sales, and then in lower cost regions, we're doing copper winding magnet assembly in China and the Czech Republic. And ultimately, as soon as we get enough revenue to do it or a justification, we're planning on having a Traverse City-based production facility. I'm a strong believer in doing as many things production-wise in the U.S. as possible. My previous company, we did everything in the U.S. It was a high-tech company. All the machining was done locally. Assembly, manufacturing was all done in Traverse City. I have a strong desire to live and work here and support the economics of the region. And every once in a while, we get to have some fun with this technology. This happens to be a solar challenge vehicle. The Dutch team came to us and wanted a high-performance motor developed so that they could take the solar energy that they were collecting through their vehicle and get the most bang for their buck out of it. And as a result, they wind up winning the challenge every time we wind up designing a motor for them. And it's a 95% efficient motor, and you can see it very thin in frame. It's very light, and they love it when we do that. So it's one of those applications where we find an interesting project, and we do pretty well with it. Any questions?
Is there a cost premium for these motors, or is it just a cost premium in the beginning and then with volume it falls away?
The only cost premium that's involved is that we target markets that are willing to pay a premium for motors so that we get more margin out of it. We're not looking for commodity applications or super high volume where it takes a huge amount of capital to ramp up for it. If we're making 5,000 to 10,000 of something in a year, we're happy with that. We've looked at projects where we're looking into the 50 to 100,000 motors a year, but those are starting to get higher volumes. And so we target applications where there's room for more margin. And in this stage of the game, we're trying to avoid large competitors that, frankly, these days are well equipped to design and manufacture high performance motors. And we can do it at a low cost as well. So we're cost competitive, but as a small company, we're trying to shoot the fat ducks first and get better opportunities.
What's your RPM range?
We do everything from 10 RPM up to 50 to 60,000. So,
what kind of horsepower, 10,000 RPM?
Last motor we worked on was 1.5 kilowatts, and that was for industrial air handling application, a 24-foot diameter sealant fan.
Gary, have you guys been exploring the technology to be applied to semi-trucks? As a former truck driver, pulling a 40,000-pound load, we get about 6 miles to the gallon with diesel.
Yeah.
And I saw an article a couple years ago that they were talking about generators, and each drive wheel and even the front steers were going to have electric motors on them. Have you been involved in any of that?
No, when we've looked at the automotive business, the issue in automotive is not necessarily the motors, because the motors can be made very efficient. So whatever energy you put in, 99% of that power can go right to the wheels. It's the power storage on board of the semi trucks. If you're burning diesel to make electricity through a generator, that's where the losses are. It's not the limitations of the motors.
So the battery technology has to catch up.
The battery technology has to catch up.
Thank you.
Have you worked with Bay Motors here in town on any project?
Excuse me?
Have you worked with Bay Motors?
Yeah, I talked to them before. Actually, when they were for sale, I looked at the company as a potential acquisition. I'm familiar with their product line. They're in a completely different market. They're very small motors, they're fairly inexpensive for applications that are not sensitive to efficiency issues. Because some of their motors might be 26% efficient, but if you've got a heater that's sold at Walmart that you put a motor in that happens to take 3/4 of the energy that you put into it and make heat. Well, they're making heat anyway, and the power levels are so low that the government currently is not regulating those motors in terms of Energy Star compliance. But yeah, I'm familiar with them.
I just had a question about your IP strategy. So are you filing patents on some?
In the areas where we're doing something completely unique, yes, we're filing patents. In the case of the seismic vibratory device, there are patents that are protecting that. In other areas, we're protecting it through trade secret, because in the top technologies that we're developing, we're not doing anything crazy. All we're doing is taking the best methodologies that are available to design a standard topology motor and wrenching every last bit of performance out of it. We're a lower level motor designer who said, well, I can get 75% efficiency out of this. We can make a motor that looks almost identical, but is doing 90%. So a lot of it's protected by trade secret and kind of craft know-how, trade craft.
What's your website?
It's just being worked on right now. It's just lmtsystems.com. We fly a little bit under the radar. We've actually been overwhelmed with with requests to do work, and so we're trying to winnow that down a little bit and not get overexposed, because there's a lot of demand for this. There's been a significant amount of consolidation in the motor business, so now you have big companies that want to make a lot of the same thing in iterations of existing designs, and there's very few people designing brand new motors from scratch using new techniques. And so when we kind of show up on the radar, people start calling, and then we spend most of our time answering questions on the phone rather than working on existing projects.
How long have you been doing this here, and how much?
This is about a year-old startup. I've been in Traverse City since 1992. This will be my 5th startup. The 4 or 5 previous ones were sold off, some to private companies, others to public. And so I've got a 25, 30-year history in magnetics and electromagnetic design, and that's kind of what lends itself to partnering with the guys that I partnered with in the Netherlands. They do similar work, but in a different industry. I've got a long history of commercializing technology. They develop it at a high level, but don't necessarily know how to commercialize it, so we're working together to do that.
Good, thank you so much. All right, so thank you very much. The computer is going to keep changing on me, but Mantle Services, are you here? Guys from Mantle, thank you very much for supporting TC New Tech. They've been around for a few months now, and they've presented too, right? So you should be able to see. Yes, no, not yet. Are you gonna? Okay. Like I saw you on the presenter list. And also a large thank you to SampleServe.com. That is Russell Schindler's company, where he is busy working right now in Arkansas. I think. So does anybody have any announcements that they'd like to make right now that they've thought of while we were going through the ropes? Nobody? Okay. So we have a couple of additional links on our website. So if you visit our website, tcnewtech.org, you're going to find a brand new link for job postings in the area in this market. So please log in, check that out. You can, I believe, post job opportunities if you're a business or you know of one. You can also search if you're a prospective employee that's looking for a job, or if you just kind of want to see what's in the area and you've got friends that you want to tell about. And Todd Levante with Supply Link, you're up.
Hi, my name is Todd Levante. I'm CEO of the East Supply Link. We're kind of a startup that's been around for 15 years here in Traverse City. And basically, we began under another company back in 1997, which I started here in Traverse City. We built that up and sold it to a public e-commerce corporation. 3 or 4 years went by. Me and some partners actually bought the product to sell the company. We merged these data collection products into a product line in 2003. And then in 2010, we had some of our customers come to us that were in the pharmaceutical supply chain, and give us some new requirements. And that had to do with suspicious odor monitoring in the controlled substance supply chain market of pharmaceuticals. In 2008, we won a contract to deliver that. Now, last year, we won a contract to deliver a serialization platform for pharmaceutical manufacturers. And we're in the process of building that today. When I give a presentation, I always have to tell everybody, where's Traverse City? So, why Traverse City? And everybody knows that here. Some of our current customers, just some big names here. Anybody plays disc golf, Innova Disc Golf, the biggest disc golf maker in the world. UPS, everybody's heard of them. Unisource, big paper manufacturer, and so forth. Idemitsu, tier 1 supplier. And Tenneco is also a tier 1 supplier in automotive supply chains. We basically have a number of products. The important ones, SOM Link, that's suspicious odor monitoring. It deals with pharmaceutical controlled substances. The Serialize Now is in the manufacturing space of pharmaceutical. That's pharmaceutical across the board. 2013, President Obama signed the Drug Supply Chain Security Act in 2013 in December. And so by November of 2017, all manufacturers have to serialize down at the unit level. So unit level, case level, maybe a batch level, and then a pallet level. So that's big news for them. ComplyLink's been our product that we bought back in 2000, and that deals with the automotive and the retail supply chains. We only have 5 minutes, so I can't go into a lot of detail. SOM Link, this deals with regulatory issues within the supply chain. The DEA 21 CFR 1401B, 1301B, 74B is a regulation that determines that these manufacturers, distributors, we just won a deal for a 900-store retail pharmacy here in the United States that is using our product to monitor all their stores. That's the kind of system it does. So it watches the orders flowing through systems, does statistical analysis, and it gives the ability for their analysts to go inside to investigate these orders of interest and decide whether or not they're going to be reported to the DEA. Otherwise, they pass the test. That's the one product. The other product that we have is Serialize Now. This is the other pharmaceutical market, and this deals with manufacturers exclusively. And this is on the line. So you're dispensing, let's say, bottles of aspirin. Every one of those have to be serialized, uniquely identified. This is more gives you more information than just lot number process. And so we're on the line. We're dealing with printers, scanners, all that. We give visibility. We actually give it to other companies that give visibility to this down the supply chain. Okay, this is kind of what it looks like. We're not going to go through this, but that's just a representation of a line up there and all the interaction that we have to do. These start off about $200,000 a deal. ComplyLink. This is been our product since the beginning. This deals with manufacturers, distributors. Basically, if you're in the automotive retail supply chain, where you're supplying to Ford, you're supplying to Nissan, Honda, they all have big requirements for it. So do the suppliers of Sears, Walmart, Kmart, all the Walgreens and so forth. They also need to do certain serialization. That's why we're experts in this market. So in summary, we have a product line, we have revenue, customers, we have infrastructure, we have customers, we have proven pharmaceutical services, and a growing customer base. Why am I here? Well, one, I like to get in front of people and talk. Two, I'm looking for a couple of resources. Somebody that, very technical, probably part-time to begin with. So for VBS scripting and crystal reports, I'm looking for sales account managers. And then also I'm looking for somebody that has been very successful, has a successful career, that is looking for an opportunity to be with the company and join in some of the decision making of a company like ours. And so I'm looking for somebody with strong sales, marketing, operations, and venture capital type experience, because we will be going for money here in the next 3 to 9 months. So thank you very much.
Anybody have any questions? Like you got one over there.
Yes.
So what's the current competitive market space like? How are you guys future-proofing what you're doing going forward?
So the marketplace is different for the different products that we have. The pharmaceutical market is our, I guess, our focus at this point. You see the very growing market. The pharmaceutical companies have quite a bit of money that we sometimes struggle with in the automotive retail markets. So we're trying to go towards those markets and, basically stand the cutting edge, and the demands in these are most regulatory products that deal with supply chain. So they're issues that are not only in the United States, but they're global issues. Serialization is occurring across the world: Brazil, China, Turkey, and so forth. To serialize and protect supply chains in pharmaceutical and other industries. Yes.
You said eventually that you might raise some money, some venture capital money. What is that going to be used for?
Development, marketing. Any other questions?
What steps are you taking to anonymize or encrypt the information in case of a hack? I assume you have HIPAA compliance requirements and things like that.
There's no HIPAA here. That we don't deal with patient data at all. This is all information on pharmaceutical supply chain of products. So it's really delivering all the serialized information. And so someday you can take your camera on your phone, take a picture of your aspirin bottle, and say, "Oh, that's authentic." Or better yet, if it's Viagra, you want to make sure it's real. Right? So it's
My wife
no comment. So,
There's a question in the back over here.
but
How long have you been doing this, and how large an organization?
we're a small organization right now. We're about 5 people full time. We have an entity that helps us. We have a current investment that help with some of the financial issues that we have, accounting and so forth. We also have a development staff in Ann Arbor and Shanghai that serve some of the development needs. Yes, sir.
Are there opportunities to market this to other countries?
Yes, there is. The Serialize Now is something that, like I said, Turkey, Brazil, China, and a number of other countries are currently either in the process of implemented or have done over the past few years. Like Brazil is already there. They already have this unit level serialization.
Is protecting against counterfeit drugs or
Counterfeit drugs and also diversion. Because if you're taking oxycodone or even Tylenol and selling it over here, that's diversion, and that's something they're always trying to reduce.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so some more thank yous there. So the Echo Space, anybody from Echo in here still? This is a wonderful venue. They have a lot of other, this thing drives me through. There are a lot of events going on here throughout the week. So check out their website. They have comedians, they have special events. You can rent this venue. It's a beautiful space. They do a fantastic job. Trevor Sligo, I know Enrico is here, and maybe some teammates. They've been involved for quite a long time. You can see a variety of the things that they do there. Grand Traverse Business Design, Joey and Jonathan. Yeah, thank you. They do web design development. There is an update from Ben that we'd like to get on our fiber group. There's an internet infrastructure group that's forming through the TC New Tech program, and there is a link on the website for more information. And if you want to give a brief update.
Sure, thanks, Lisa. Just a couple of quick things. One, we're going to try to get more into a social media space with this project. So afterwards, Joey and his compatriots are going to be doing some quick interviews. So during the social hour, if we come up to you, we'd like to ask you to step over to the camera. We're going to ask you two very simple questions. One is, why should Traverse City build a high-speed fiber network? And two, what would a high-speed fiber network contribute to your company or organization? We just want impromptu feedback. We're going to use this as a trial, see what kind of question, what kind of feedback works. We're going to put these out on our website. We're going to put them out on other social websites, trying to build some interest, continued interest. There's been a lot of interest in this project within Traverse City. I just came back, spent the day out in Frankfurt. Benzie County had a broadband summit out there with all day with the several people that came. They're very interested in it. They're involved in the project. So this thing is really building a fair amount of momentum. We've got 3 more speakers scheduled now. We've been putting on an educational session about once a month. Last one we did was with Chattanooga, Tennessee. We've got 3 more coming up. We'll have that information on our website. So if you have any interest or any other questions, let us know. We think it's this project is going to move. We think that everyone is in favor of it. It's really just a question of keeping the pressure on the individuals who are in a position to make decisions about this to move forward. So
Finances have been worked out?
Pardon?
Yeah, finances have been worked out for it as well?
Finances really haven't been worked out. There needs to be a business plan developed. Really, you wouldn't expect a board like TCLP to, for instance, to approve it without a business plan. So that needs to be done. And that's the biggest hurdle right now, is how to get the business plan.
So that, I'm actually very interested in your, what you're doing here. So what has already been done, and where, like, what are your next steps? You said business plan, but what have you guys already achieved in this?
Well, I think we've achieved getting the attention of individuals who need to make this decision. And the most likely decision is probably with Traverse City Power and Light, which also is essentially owned by the city of Traverse City. So that you've got 2 entities here politically that are going to have to come along and support this in some way. And really the biggest question right now, I think, and it was discussed all day today, was, do you do this strictly as a political entity, or do you do this as a public-private cooperative? And I think there are opportunities to do this as a public-private cooperative, which in my personal opinion is a better way to go, because it opens up a lot of opportunity. If you create the system and allow people to use it, a lot of people to use it, then you bring in new ideas and new opportunities in revenue generation, not only for the individuals using it, but essentially for TCLP if they were to build the system. To do that, they're going to have to invest a fair amount of capital. So you need to have some sort of a return to make that, to justify it. Yeah.
My company's got a key line coming into it. Would this take the place of that? How does that relate?
Essentially, yes. I think that the feeling of everyone is that 1 gig at least minimum bidirectional is something that, in order to run a number of businesses in the future, in the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to have. And it's going to have to be done in a way that's cost effective. And pretty clearly there are ways to do that. Thanks.
I think we have exhausted that part. So let me welcome Tim Burden and Peter Racine. Is that how you say your last name?
Racine, like Wisconsin.
Racine, aha. Yes. Okay, with Cool LED. Thank you.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Pete Racine with Cool LED. We are a Traverse City-based distributor of LED lighting. We also do installations, retrofits for facilities that want to convert. And I'm going to move through the presentation fairly quickly and then invite Tim Burden, who is the CEO and founder of the company, to come on up and do a closing and help out with some of the Q&A technical answers. We're probably all tired of changing light bulbs, but this is about much more than that. It's really about energy conservation and saving the planet, so to speak. This is just to show a quick picture that lighting does make up a very large percentage of total electric usage in the country. Unfortunately, a lot of that is waste. So what's LED all about? We typically see average electric savings of 50 to 70% on almost every facility we look at. The typical return on investments range from 1 to 3 years. Quite often, we'll see positive cash flow for the customer from month 1, even if they finance the project. That is to say that their electric savings will exceed the costs of their financing the project. Of course, it is green technology. We're talking about reducing greenhouse gas emissions by a very significant percent. We're talking about that kind of energy conservation. LED bulbs and tubes do not contain toxic materials like mercury and PCBs, which is the case with fluorescents and others. Much longer life, so reduced maintenance costs and the like, and much better light. So our current business is primarily focused on commercial and industrial lighting conversions. So I'm sure everyone here knows, you walk into a typical commercial facility, you see a ton of fluorescent tubes. And just to illustrate, this LED tube can replace those fluorescent tubes. And here again, it's an example of saving in the ballpark of 50% just by replacing the fluorescent tubes with these LED tubes. We've done a lot of work for auto dealers who have these parking lights that you can see. Those are typically, for example, 400 watt metal halide lights that we can replace with an 80 or 120 or 160 watt light. So tremendous savings. Parking garages. We've done one of the ones right here in Traverse City. In fact, is it the Hardy garage, Tim, or Hardy? A lot of grocery facilities, schools, and the like. This is busy. I don't want to focus on it, but I just wanted to illustrate real briefly that there are very large markets we're talking about. And in the case of these linear fixtures are referring to like the fluorescent tubes, and low bay, high bay for those auto dealers and industrial and warehouse applications. And as you can see, I hope you can see on that this column, the LED penetration rate is exceedingly low. That's 1.3%. And the potential energy savings are huge. So that's, you know, shows the potential, and it also shows our focus on growth. So we have an exclusive line of products for those street parking lot lights, as well as the high bay floodlights. We've also got a couple of those here. We can do a quick show and tell after the presentations are done. We are trying to build out a wholesale distribution network and build up a rep and dealer network so that we can achieve scale. So we're actually doing installations around town, for example, or statewide. We've got an auto dealer program going on now, multiple locations throughout Michigan and Ohio. But to really achieve scale, we've got to build out the distribution. And we'd also were interested in internet and online sales. Bigger picture yet, we are trying to develop some proprietary products. We're looking at some innovations in a low voltage lighting system, which is potentially very big market. Could include housing throughout the country. Specialty lighting, mood lighting, and the like. And we could use R&D funding. We have not been seeking funding up to the present, but we are going to start looking at that over the next few months. And so we're always looking for brains and money. So I'm going to bring up Tim Burden, who is the founder and CEO of the company. Tim, please, a little closing and then Q&A.
Thanks, Pete. It's boring what we do. We save people a lot of money by changing their lights. A lot of times, 1 year payback. We have 2 clients right now. The cost is $270,000, and the payback annually is $230,000. And it's a 10-year time frame, so millions of dollars for those 2 clients. So anyway, what we're excited about is the R&D and the development. Cows produce more milk under the correct lighting. Chickens lay more eggs under the correct lighting. Babies are happier. We have mood lighting, for happy light, as we have in the North Country, or you can just have a drink, I guess. But there are a couple ways to attack that. We are really excited about an R&D incubator for specialty products and presenting some of these really exciting new avenues for people to either light their properties or to just change the way things happen around them. So we've had communication with like the Dairy Association, the National Dairy Association, and they've studied the effects in agriculture. And so anyway, I just opened it up for question. We are excited about the opportunities that we have. I've been doing this for 5.5 years. We have an exclusive partner in China to build products for us, anything we want. They'll manufacture for us at very competitive pricing. And, and all the world needs lights. Yes, sir.
So lots of competitors who manufacture and sell.
Very competitive market.
What's your competitive advantage?
Well, this new line that we have exclusive distribution rights to North America. It's a state-of-the-art product, just UL certified and Design Light Consortium certified in the last 120 days. And we have a company that will change. We've asked them to modify that fixture for California regulations. They said no problem. We'll send you a sample this week. So a very active partner with competitive pricing. But I think really what we have is innovation and the thought process and how we present more of this to more people. And I guess the thing that I talk about every day is customer service. I mean, really, we need to make people happy with the decisions that they're making, and that's with product and responsiveness. So.
So you got this things like a fluorescent fixture light bulb. Will that go into a standard fixture, or do you have to change out the fixtures to something different?
There's been a lot of advances in the technology in the last 12 months. Since I've been involved, there's been tremendous advances. We have about 5 different, probably 8 different ways we could modify a regular troffer, as we call them. And this particular product is the simplest. It's plug and play. Take the other fixture out, plug this one in. They're saying that's not the best. That's not what we recommend. We can rewire the fixture with an internal ballast. We can rewire with an external ballast. We can rewire it and have no tube and just screw in strips. That's
right.
4. So there's a couple more ways we can do it.
The problem with the direct replacement plug and play, so-called, is that you've got a ballast in there that's already got X% of its life is gone. Yeah. So as soon as that ballast dies, you don't have light. Yeah. Now you're back to square one.
And you'd have degradation too.
Yeah.
If you don't replace it, it's gonna.
So we typically prefer a so-called ballast bypass method. Get rid of the ballast, which itself is wasting energy. Do some direct wiring to the tubes which have internal drivers, and you're more efficient that way. And it's a longer-term solution. A little more labor involved, though.
What do you got in one fixture? I mean, how much time do you have in one fixture?
Time to retrofit it?
Just to turn one product.
Probably 15 minutes.
20 minutes.
So the most part you're saving is the sheet metal.
Well, you're saving them virtually everything. You're just cutting the ballast out of there and rewiring.
Yeah, one of those light fixtures is basically the sheet metal ballast.
That's right, yeah, yes,
So you
yeah,
save the
sockets,
sheet metal.
that's right.
Exactly, right. There's almost nothing left other than the wiring and the tombstones. That's it. Yep.
How big is your company?
How big is our company? We're not very big, although this quarter we've surpassed the volume that we did last year. We have about 7 employees. We have a number of dealers and reps around the country. We've done installations in Mexico and Canada, Puerto Rico, probably half the states in the country. But we're a small company looking to grow. We need brain power and we need some capital to kind of launch this new approach to this new product line. We need to get people traveling, training salespeople, building a network. We've actually had in the past 90 dealers and reps and 230 individuals who asked for our paperwork. But I don't think the market was quite ready. Now we think the market is ready, and we think we have the products and the experience and the knowledge and the completed projects to really help train people. Yes.
You open the customers so with the consumer power rebates?
Yes, we do all. We handle A to Z.
We process that for customers.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
So, David, all right, so ElevateNet, provides Wi-Fi to this building as well as several other places. They do a fantastic job and they've been helping us out. The Chamber of Commerce Hub is supporting our social hour tonight, as we have mentioned, and we have our 5th presenter, which is Hub. So if you'd like to come on up, did they mic you already? So Jonathan will meet you here. Does anybody have any announcements, comments, questions while we wait? So Hub will be our last presenter, and then we do have an update. So from time to time, we get contacted or we reach out and ask past presenters if they have any updates kind of about where they're at. And today, Perennial Harvest, Stuart is in the room, and he's going to come up when she's finished. So if you'd like to stick around and hear what's new and going on with his company, we'd love to have you.
Before I get started, go ahead, pull out your phones, look up hubb.io on your browsers, and this might also help you come up with some good, hopefully not too stumping questions for me. So one of the most important things to me in an organization is the concept of accountability. When it comes to accountability, you need to be able to trust that everything is in order, everything is taken care of, especially when it comes to matters that regard money. And that is where we at Hub.io come in. We want to make sure that accountability exists between companies as well as between us in our organization and our own employees. So this kind of accountability is what we are able to offer both internally as well as externally. Now, when it comes to internally, we have this HR solution, but think about the HR solutions that currently exist on the market right now. There is nothing that is simple when it comes to employee records, benefit information, compensation data and history, time and expense entry, as well as HR requests. Right now on the market, sure, there are other solutions that exist like SAP, Oracle, PeopleSoft, but those are really meant for large organizations. We are right now in an era here in Traverse City, as well as down south in Ann Arbor, Detroit, looking at startups and the rise of new businesses and new ideas. Well, the problem is you still got to do this. You still need to take care of your employees and make sure that you're accountable to them and to the people that you work with. So what we offer is a solution that is there for small and growing companies, something that's never truly existed before. And for those who don't use a solution, maybe they're using things that are a little archaic for our new technologically driven times. And by archaic, I mean paper. There is so much paper, and you can't search paper, you can't control paper unless you're into origami, and not all of us are good at it. So that is why I put forward the idea of Hub.io. What if everything was different? What if we were able to provide an HR solution that is enterprise grade and that you don't have to pay for the growth of your business. Most organizations now make you pay per user. No, we don't believe in that. You shouldn't be financially punished for the benefit of you growing and helping your local economies. No, no, no. We believe in an HR solution that is also free for startups to use. And not only that, per company pricing, that you can do all of those things I talked about before. And not only that, you're able to pay maybe $30 per month per company, and the maximum you'll ever pay is $50 per month per company. Now, I know it sounds a little too good to be true, but one of the cool things for us is we truly believe in this time of innovation, and we don't want paperwork to get in the way of you all doing what you want to do best for your organization and your community. So that is why Hub is the right opportunity for you and your HR solutions. It is the best opportunity because it's scalable. It is a global solution that we actually use in our organization that has gone from here in Michigan, personally with us in the Detroit area, and all the way over to India. We're looking at actually expanding into the UK as well as Canada market soon. Not only that, it is flexible. It is secure. We are always sending our white hats in there to actually test the security of the solution. Not only that, it never goes down. If you've ever watched the Facebook movie, you remember when Mark Zuckerberg said, Facebook can never go down. And that's one of the same beliefs we have in our company and in our product. It's very affordable. It's constantly being upgraded. It's extendable. And not only that, we're thinking of adding in these integrations like QuickBooks, FreshBooks, Paychex, ADP for payroll and benefits. Okay, maybe you're happy with your HR solution. Maybe you're okay with what you got now. That's fine. I mean, we've all been in relationships, right? But what if you can now handle not just internally what's going on, but what's going on externally as well? That is why this is a vendor management solution too, to be able to take care of your relationship with your suppliers. Now, right now on the market, there are no simple solutions for vendor management. And we believe in accountability and trust. We like to get paid. There's a reason that Rihanna wrote the song, Be Better Have My Money. Why? Because you need to be able to make sure that you get paid so that you are able to pay those who depend on you. So with that being the case, there is no solution for vendor management as well as e-invoicing for people in small startup organizations that are looking to grow. And if that's the case, yeah, maybe you could use Ariba, Talia, Oracle, but they're still the same problem. They're catered to enterprise customers and are definitely priced accordingly. Now, there are too many bells and whistles also that you don't really need to use. That is why you are able to use the solution to be able to make sure that you are able to have no more interaction with paper and those time-consuming methods that you can't guarantee that the other side has actually gotten your memo and gotten your message and knows to pay you in accordance. So that's why Hub.io saves the day. It helps with vendor management. It helps with vendor onboarding, contracts, compliance, invoicing, and is completely transparent. Once again, startups are for free. Along with that, there is a per company pricing model, and you can do all of those typical growing company needs. Invite new vendors, create POs, upload vendor contracts, accept incoming invoices, update status of payments, and many, many more features. Once again, it's included with the HR management solution. They are included together and work in tandem. And that is why, once again, $30 per month, $50 per month per company. So that is what I bring to you today, Hub.io. It is the solution that we believe in. We use ourselves as well as with OpenLogix Corporation. And we've also had a lot of experience with the project. I am running out of time, which is why I started you into your question time. Yeah, so when it comes to accountability, I can offer you Hub.io. But in the meantime, after this, I can offer you a drink. So, what questions do you have? Yes, sir.
So if you, I know your target isn't the large customers, large corporate customers. if you do land a large corporate customer that is tens of thousands of employees, all that extra workload that comes in for you guys, how are you going to be profitable at $50 a month for a large customer like that?
For us, we're very much about our mission, which is accessibility. And if we are able to get those big contracts through, we're going to welcome them in, of course. That's wonderful publicity for us. Like, everyone in this room knows that. It's great publicity if we were able to land someone like UPS. And even though it doesn't seem profitable, it is, because that kind of customer base helps us build more customers. And not only that, we also have these goals of being able to buy monthly. It's like Netflix. It's a lot like Netflix's model, where every month we're going to get some money in, you know, the $50 per month, $30 per month, and really that's good enough for us. We're content. We sleep at night. Not very well. What?
What type of customer base are you looking to get into place to be profitable?
Pardon?
How many customers do you need in place to be profitable?
That is right here. Our plans is to get funding. We're going to start asking for funding only in 2017 when we have above 1,000 paying customers, or at that point 15,000 monthly reoccurring people paid. Yes.
What's your typical company look like, customers?
It could be that startup down the street, basically.
Typically, you're catering to smaller businesses right now.
Mm-hmm. Like Hope.io is 8 people. That's the type of company we would include. Or with OpenLogix, that's about 150 to 200 people, because we're a company that's in flux with consultants. So those are the companies that we are working with right now. However, we are willing to expand to anyone who wants to use our services that are necessary for every single company. What other questions do you have? Oh, yes, sir.
Do you have me?
Yeah.
Do you have your own server hardware, or are you farming that out?
We are actually using Amazon's cloud, specifically because of how flexible it is. That it will be able to expand to all of the customers we're hoping to have and all of the people who are in there. Yes, sir.
If it's not confidential, how do you acquire 1,000 customers? How do you leave it?
Well, I haven't been told those details yet. They don't tell me everything up in headquarters, but I am the map for this particular product.
Good question. If you're currently not integrating with existing accounting software, but you're handling money, where does the integration happen? How do you get that information from one system to the other?
We are looking to also be able to expand to include things like QuickBooks as well.
No, but you're currently not. So how does a customer handle it? If somebody chooses to use your system and use that aspect of it, how do they deal with reconciling their accounting books with the money that's handled inside your system?
Well, I think we'd actually probably consult on something like that. We'd actually go in and be able to figure out how such a migration would be able to occur with our own help. Right now, we're at that point where we can have the manpower to give that kind of labor and time to those.
It's kind of double handled right now until you come up with it.
Yeah. That's the best way to put it. Yes, sir.
You're providing integration services to that?
Well, not yet, but we are hoping to get it in that direction. Right now, we're like, hey, HR solution here, vendor solution here. But hopefully, once we grow large enough, we'll be able to make integration happen. But in the meantime, real quick. Okay, real quick. Right now, for this month only, it is completely free to sign up, and you can actually experiment and tell us what's wrong with it. What can we fix, and how can this be a better tool that account for? Now I understand things like integration. Cool. Thank you.
Okay, so we're getting to the very end here, and so we've got Stuart with Perennial Harvest on his way up to get Mike. Does anybody have any announcements? This will be the last presenter, and then we're going to wrap it up. So after this, we have our social hour, thanks to Hub, and we've given everybody a green ticket. If you didn't get a green ticket and you missed the announcement earlier, please see me after this. You can redeem those for a beverage of your choice at the bar following the service. So come on in. Following the service? Yeah, I got in church. Following the presentation, I'm sorry. Switch ahead.
Okay, well, thank you for delaying your drink and your imbibing. Mine's just an update, so this will be 3 minutes real quick. We presented in December under the name B, because of the goal to be a B corporation. We changed the name. We didn't want any confusion or any feathers ruffling, so we're going by RISE, now short for Rhizome, the connective root-like structure, but also connoting rising and empowerment. Otherwise, the same mission, the future of food in your hands. And we added a CMO. Excited about that. Good buddy of mine since 3rd grade, but very accomplished as well. He's been working in Los Angeles, big business background as well. Some of us who started businesses know that once in a while we'll encounter a failure and have to roll with it. So we've had a couple of those, but we're excited about how we've adapted to that. Our developer we're hoping to bring on as CTO hasn't been able to. So development has been an issue, but we've been kind of doing a cart before the horse and setting up everything else to kind of roll with that once we get the MVP. So he's still available, but at the moment we can't afford that. So I'll show you we're setting everything else up. Same problems, barriers to guarding that we're solving, cost, access, information, whatnot. The good thing is we're not entirely the blue ocean, so it's less risky appearance because the database is already out there. The mobile phone designing for your landscape is already out there, and the on-demand Uberification is expanding into lawn services, but not yet for gardening or landscaping, kind of the mission angle that we want. So what we're trying to do is kind of create the toolbox, combine all those, because if you're a contractor, if you're like, say a mission-based TaskRabbit, you can actually design right there for your client and show them and have the information that can help you right there on the spot. But those other tools help the do-it-yourself services as well. So we're covering a lot of different revenue streams there. So big market, as we know, we will narrow down to having internet users at first, of course. But one great thing, our partner was Slow Food USA. We did have that set up in the fall, still going strong with that. At the time, it was 570 gardens. They partnered with Whole Foods Whole Kids Foundation, and now we're automatically going to get into 4,200 school gardens nationwide. That will be a donation, but it'll also act as marketing. There'll be beta testers. They'll be our advocates, if you will. And then we are in the current issue of Permaculture Magazine, just came out, page 34. Excited about that. That's been the adaptation too. Without being a developer myself, what can I bring to this? It's really been the partnerships and kind of the marketing. So we've kind of set the routes to market, all that as much as we can. Real good list of betas, real influential. We've gotten with Slow Food the 10 biggest chapters. They have the biggest reach, but they're also the most active, as well as a few 10 speakers. Food is Free is actually huge with a large international presence, and some other rising stars. And then that is our ask that we're working on with LA-based incubators where we want to do. So we will want to stay here, of course, for family reasons. I cannot move, but because we're staying here as well, I'm very interested in the fiber optics that we're working on. But yeah, so our CMO and CFO will be out there, and then just a quick. I think that was the time.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, just a couple of the wireframes right there. So it's information and then design right there, and then you'll be able to take a photo or upload existing, and then you'll be able to click and drag images right on top of it. And then when you populate a search, it'll be kind of a Tinder style where you can swipe through there, and then you overlay those same images right there, so you make an instant after photo. And we do have some more wireframes I can show other people too, but trying to keep it concise.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So any other questions for Stuart? He'll be cocktailing with us here in just a moment. Our next meeting is Tuesday, May 3rd. It is always the first Tuesday of every month at 6 o'clock, same time, same place. We do like to try to stay on time, so I'm going to keep my rest of my notes short. If you'd like to present or if you have any future presenters, visit the website, send it to myself or Russell. We'll get you set up. And thanks again to all of our sponsors. Thanks for coming. Have a great evening. Drive safe. Perfect.